Thanks to all the subscribers. Please like, subscribe, and comment. With that out of the way, let's get into it. We're back in Staten Island. Way back in 2009, a gang war erupted between the Gorilla Bloods and a rival criminal organization known as the Arlington Crew, comprised largely of Bloods gang members based in the Arlington neighborhood of Staten Island. Dante Sebern, aka K-Don, and Dexter Waiters, aka Bugatti, and their associate Earl Mangan, aka Fresh Sold Drugs Together, and prior to the war, were supplied by associates of the Arlington Crew. That stopped though when the war broke out. On November 6, 2009, Waiters, aka Bugatti, hosted two high-ranking members of the Gorilla Bloods, Tyreen Harley, a GF, or Godfather from Brooklyn, and Joshua DeMellier from upstate New York. Later that night, they went to a party at an unlicensed social club in the Arlington neighborhood of Staten Island. Members from the 9 Trey Bloods also attended the party, including Jermaine Dickerson, Big Dean, a high-ranking member. At one point during the party, Dickerson and other members of the 9 Trey Bloods went to the back of the club to smoke marijuana. The Gorilla Bloods group, including Harley and DeMellier, came to the back area shortly after. Mangan, a Gorilla Blood, introduced Harley to the 9 Trey Bloods as the big homie, a high-ranking member of the Gorilla Bloods. After exchanging Bloods handshakes, Dickerson G-checked Harley, asking him how he obtained his rank, who initiated him, and other facts about his membership to see if he was official. Harley answered the questions, but in a cocky and aggressive way. Harley returned to the party, but Dickerson, Big Dean, was skeptical about his claimed rank within the Bloods. About an hour later, Harley became angry and aggressive with a woman who spurned his advances. He cursed at her as she walked away and bumped into Elome Gwynn, a member of the 9 Trey Bloods, causing Gwynn to spill his drink. They argued, and Harley punched Gwynn in the face. Gwynn and other 9 Trey Bloods attacked Harley. The other Gorilla Bloods tried to intervene, but Dickerson held them off. A second fight broke out when DeMellier sucker punched Dion Nelson, a member of Dickerson's group. Nelson and others punched DeMellier, who pulled out a gravity knife to defend himself. Nelson then shot DeMellier, and the crowd fled the club. Once outside, Harley berated Waiters and the other Gorilla Bloods for not coming to his aid. After the party broke up, Dickerson and others went to the nearby Holland houses and then decided to get breakfast. As they waited for a car, Waiters and Sebern, aka K-Don, both wearing dark clothing and hoods, approached from the parking lot. They opened fire and killed Dickerson. Police officers from the 120th Precinct were at the social club and responded to the call for shots fired. As they approached the parking lot, a black Mercedes took off quickly, ran the stop sign at Holland and Benjamin, almost striking one of the police cars. The officers turned on their lights and tried to stop the Mercedes, which turned back into the parking lot. The car stopped for a moment and Sebern jumped out of the passenger side and ran towards the Holland houses. Officers Pina and Aguilio chased Sebern, who tripped and fell, dropping a revolver. The officers handcuffed Sebern, secured the revolver, and patted him down for other weapons. Meanwhile, as the driver fled from the Mercedes with an officer in pursuit, Waiters fell from the rear driver's side and dropped a 9mm handgun. Officers tackled and handcuffed him. Both the Waiters and Sebern were wearing camouflage military-grade bulletproof vests. Waiters was barefoot. Dickerson was pronounced dead at the hospital. The medical examiner who performed the autopsy removed a bullet from Dickerson's body. The NYPD ballistics lab matched the bullet to Waiters' gun. The police recovered a pair of sneakers with the petitioner's DNA.
Perfect.
While Waiters was detained at the MDC, corrections officials seized 2 draft letters from his cell, in which he wrote the following: "You already known, loyalty is royalty, and I live by this slogan to the utmost." I feel like this, bro. If you should oppress a Rilla, you should be dealt with no matter who you are. And that's basically what this is about. You know, I had to let my knuckles drag on a few dirty monkeys who felt that they can disrespect Bee Es Duble Gee, Stone Gorilla Gangsters. The Godfather is at the top of the Gorilla Bloods hierarchy. followed by the high OG, the low OG, 5-star generals, 4-star generals, and so on down to 1-star generals with soldiers at the bottom. In 2008 and 2009, the crew used Blood street gang members to guard multiple stash houses. They operated in the Arlington Terrace Apartments complex in Mariners Harbor. In 2009, Collier began supplying Earl Mangin, a Sebin and Waiters associate, with crack cocaine for resale to users and other dealers, said court papers. Late that summer, while arguing over drug proceeds, Collier beat Mangin on the street with a vacuum cleaner. Collier shot Mangin twice in the legs and once in the head on the front steps of Mangin's Staten Island apartment. The murder came 1 week after a disagreement at a party culminated in the death of Jermaine Dickerson, a close friend of Collier. Mangin was affiliated with the Gorilla Bloods street gang, members of which killed Dickerson. That autumn, Mangin and Dickerson were among 4 victims slain during a bloody 12-day span in separate incidents in Mariners Harbor, New Brighton, and South Beach. The defendants turned the streets of Staten Island into a war zone to perpetuate their gang feud. These defendants were not commissioned soldiers, however, but common criminals who used gang allegiance as an excuse for murder and mayhem. This sentencing closes one chapter in this office's ongoing investigations into gang and narcotics-related violence on Staten Island, stated United States Attorney Lynch. On August 1st, 2013, the court sentenced Andre Collier to 420 months of imprisonment following his conviction of firearm-related murder. Dontai Sebern and Dexter Waiters were sentenced to life in prison for, among other crimes, the racketeering-related murder of gang leader Jermaine Dickerson, also known as Big Den. Dontai Sebern is at USP McCreary, a high-security U.S. penitentiary with an adjacent minimum security satellite camp. Dexter Waiters is currently at USP Canaan, a high-security U.S. penitentiary with an adjacent minimum security satellite camp. Andre Collier is currently at USP Lee, a high-security U.S. penitentiary with an adjacent minimum security satellite camp. His release date is June 17th, 2040. Overall, as a result of a series of investigations begun in 2008 into drug and gang-related activity on the North Shore of Staten Island, more than 30 people have been convicted of racketeering, murder, narcotics trafficking, and firearms offenses. Although there are convictions in this matter, I must stress that an indictment is not evidence of guilt. Charges are only allegations, and each defendant is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Blessings.